there's a space, a tiny, almost invisible gap in your day. It exists between the moment you know you should do something and the moment you either do it or you don't. It's the space between the alarm ringing and your feet hitting the floor. It's the silence after your boss asks, "Any questions?" When your mind is screaming with one. It's the heartbeat between seeing someone you want to talk to and the moment you decide to look down at your phone instead. We live our lives in these little gaps. We tell ourselves it's just a moment. I'm too tired. It's not the right time. What will they think? I'll do it tomorrow. But these moments, they aren't just moments. They are building blocks. Each time you hesitate, each time you choose comfort over courage, you lay a brick in a wall that eventually surrounds you. A wall built of missed opportunities, unsaid words, and projects that never began. And one day you wake up and you don't just feel stuck. You are stuck, trapped inside a life that you didn't consciously choose, but one that was built for you by 1,000 tiny hesitations, by 1,000,000 little tomorrows. What if I told you there's a secret hidden inside that gap? A neurological loophole. A simple, almost foolishly simple, mechanism that can hijack your brain's excuses and launch you into action before your own. Self-doubt can even put its shoes on. What if the entire battle for the life you want isn't one with grand plans or motivational speeches, but in a 5-second window? This isn't just a theory. It's the story of a woman who was standing at the edge of her own life. Her marriage was failing, her finances were in ruins, she was struggling to get out of bed, and the anxiety was suffocating. Her name is Mel Robbins, and in a moment of sheer desperation, she didn't discover a complex philosophy. She stumbled upon a tool. A cognitive trick so simple, she almost dismissed it. This tool became the 5-second rule. This isn't just another self-help book. It's a manual for your own mind, written from a place of raw, painful experience. It's not about feeling ready, because Mel, and so many of us, learned the hard way that the day you feel like it is a day that never comes. The rule is a story about how your brain is designed to protect you from things that are scary, uncertain, or difficult. Now, that very protection system is what often holds you prisoner. This book gives you the key. It's a physical trigger to help you override your feelings, interrupt the habit of self-doubt, and act with courage. It teaches us that courage isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's a skill, a decision, a push. And it all starts with a simple countdown. Before we dive deep, here is the roadmap of our journey together. This is the path Mel Robbins lays out for us, a progression from understanding the rule to mastering it in every corner of our lives. Part 1. The 5-second rule. It begins with discovering how 5 seconds can change your life, how Mel herself found the rule, and what you can expect when you start to use it. Part 2. The power of courage. Next, we'll explore the nature of courage, why you'll always be scared, what you're really waiting for, and why you'll never feel like it. We'll learn exactly how to start using the rule. Part 3. Courage changes your behavior. Then, we'll see how this one small action can create massive change. We'll apply it to improving your health, increasing your productivity, and finally ending procrastination, worry, and anxiety. Part 4. Courage changes your mind. From there, we move inward. We'll see how the rule builds real confidence, helps you pursue your passion, enriches your relationships, and gives you the power to stop negative thinking. Part 5. Courage changes everything. And finally, we'll bring it all together to unlock the ultimate truth, finding your inner strength and unleashing the power of you. This isn't just a list of chapters. It's a blueprint for waking up not just from sleep, but from a life lived on autopilot. It's a path from hesitation to action, from doubt to confidence. So, let's begin this journey, not just through a book, but into the very mechanism of our own minds. Let's go. One chapter at a time. Part 1. The 5-second rule. Chapter 1. 5 seconds to change your life. There's a force in the universe that governs everything. It's the force required to begin. Physicists call it activation energy. It's the jolt of lightning needed to spark a fire. It's the incredible thrust required for a rocket to break free from gravity. In our lives, it's the force required to break free from the gravity of our own feelings. Think about it. The hardest part of going for a run isn't the run itself. It's putting on your shoes and getting out the door. The hardest part of writing a report isn't the writing. It's opening the blank document. It's the hardest part of any difficult conversation. It's just starting to speak. That moment, that is where the battle is won or lost. In that silence, your brain, in an effort to protect you, goes to work. Reminds you how warm the bed is. It brings up the memory of how tired you felt yesterday. Whispers every excuse it can find to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable, to keep you from doing something difficult. And it almost always wins. But what if you had a cheat code, a way to interrupt that process, a way to create your own activation energy on demand? This is the promise of the 5-second rule. It's not a philosophy. It's a tool, a launch sequence for human beings. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must count backward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and physically move. If you don't move within 5 seconds, your brain will kill the idea. It will pull the emergency brake. Counting backward is a deliberate act. It requires focus. Because it requires focus, it distracts you from your excuses. It interrupts the habit of hesitation, the loop of self-doubt. And when you hit one and move, you stand up, you speak up. You start typing, you create a small moment of defiance. You generate just enough activation energy to get started. And as Newton taught us, an object in motion stays in motion. The rule isn't about finishing the race. It's about giving you the power to take the first step every single time. Chapter 2. How I discovered the 5-second rule. But this rule, it wasn't born in a laboratory or a think tank. It wasn't designed in a boardroom. It was forged in desperation. Imagine a life unraveling. This was Mel Robbins' life at 41. Her husband's restaurant business was failing, threatening them with bankruptcy. They were drowning in debt. Their marriage was strained to the breaking point. She had started drinking too much, a way to numb the constant, crushing anxiety. Every morning was the same battle. The alarm would ring, and a wave of dread would wash over her. The weight of her problems felt so immense, so suffocating, that the simple act of getting out of bed felt impossible. She would hit the snooze button again and again and again, delaying the inevitable, marinating in her own sense of failure. She was becoming a ghost in her own life, a spectator to her own collapse. She knew she needed to change, but knowing and doing are worlds apart. One night, unable to sleep, she was flipping through the channels. A commercial came on showing a rocket launch. The finality of the countdown caught her attention. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then, ignition, liftoff. A thought simple and strange sparked in her mind. What if I could just launch myself out of bed tomorrow morning like a rocket? She dismissed it as a stupid idea. But the next morning the alarm rang, and the familiar dread began to creep in. The excuses started their siren song, but then she remembered the rocket. And in a moment of what she calls the stupidest thing I've ever done, she did it. Out loud she said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And on 1, she stood up. She didn't feel like it. She wasn't motivated. She wasn't inspired. She just stood up. The first time in months, she had won the battle with the snooze button. It was a small, almost insignificant act, but it felt like everything. Because in that moment, she learned a profound truth. The problem wasn't her motivation. The problem was her habit of waiting to feel ready. That tiny action created a ripple. Getting up on time gave her the space to see her kids off to school with a clear head. It gave her a sense of control, a tiny piece of evidence that she wasn't completely powerless. She started using the rule for other things. Hesitating to go to the gym. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she'd put on her shoes. Afraid to make a difficult phone call. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she'd dial the number. It wasn't about solving her bankruptcy or fixing her marriage in 5 seconds. It was about taking the actions, one by one, that would eventually lead her there. It was about proving to herself 5 seconds at a time that she was in charge, not her feelings. It wasn't about motivation, it was about movement. Chapter 3. What you can expect when you use it. What happens when you start using this? What can you really expect from something so simple? First, it's going to feel silly. It will feel awkward. Your brain will tell you, this is stupid. Counting down isn't going to help, and that's a good sign. It means you're doing something different. You are interrupting a deeply ingrained pattern. You are manually overriding your own autopilot. and then you will start to collect evidence. Every time you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, you create a small win. You get out of bed, you speak in that meeting, you skip the extra slice of cake, you start the scary project. Each action is a piece of proof. Proof that you can. Proof that you are the kind of person who follows through. And this evidence begins to change the way you see yourself. Mel Robbins says that confidence is not a personality trait. It's a result. It's the result of keeping the promises you make to yourself. And the 5-second rule is a tool for keeping those promises over and over and over again. You're not just changing your actions in the moment. You are slowly, systematically rewiring your brain. You are using what scientists call a starting ritual to activate your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that guides your goals and decisions. You're doing it before your habitual brain. The part that runs on fear and comfort can stop you. You'll start to realize that courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is a push. It's a decision to act despite your fear. And with the rule, you have a tool to make that push every single time. It redefines courage not as some grand heroic act, but as a quiet, private decision you make in a 5-second window. The real transformation isn't just in what you do, it's in who you become. You become a person who acts on their best instincts, a person who trusts themselves, a person who knows deep in their bones that whatever they are facing, they can always find the power to begin. All it takes is learning to count. So ask yourself, what is the one thing you've been hesitating on? The one instinct you keep ignoring? What would happen if the next time it surfaced? You didn't think, you just started to count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Part 2, The Power of Courage. Chapter 4, You'll Always Be Scared. We have a secret agreement with ourselves. Quiet, hopeful little lie we whisper in the dark. The lie is, one day, I won't be scared anymore. One day I'll feel confident enough to ask for that raise. One day I'll feel brave enough to start my own business. One day I'll feel secure enough to be vulnerable in a relationship. We wait for the fear to vanish, as if it's a fog that will simply burn off with the morning sun. But what if it never does? Here's the raw truth that Mel Robbins forces us to confront. Your fear will never, ever go away. As long as you are growing, as long as you are pushing yourself, as long as you are truly living, you will feel fear. Your brain is designed for survival, not for your dreams. Anything that involves risk, uncertainty, or potential rejection is flagged as a threat. That feeling in your stomach, that racing heart, that dry mouth, that's not a sign that you should stop. That's a sign that you're about to do something that matters. The goal isn't to become fearless. The goal is to get so good at taking action that your fear no longer has a vote. Mel gives us a powerful reframe. She teaches us that neurologically, the feeling of fear and the feeling of excitement are almost identical. The body's physical response is the same. The only difference is the story you tell yourself about it. So instead of saying, I'm so scared, try this. The moment you feel that anxiety rise up, use the rule to interrupt the thought. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then say out loud, I am so excited. Excited to see what happens? Excited to prove I can do this? Excited to grow? You're not lying to yourself. You're simply choosing the narrative that serves you. You are choosing the story of adventure over the story of dread. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is learning to act anyway. Chapter 5. What are you waiting for? So if we know we'll always be scared, what's the other thing that holds us back? It's the cousin of fear. Hesitation. It's the endless cycle of I'll start when. I'll start my diet on Monday. I'll apply for that job once I get another certification. I'll have that tough conversation when the time is right. What are you really waiting for? Permission? A guarantee? A sign from the universe? Let's be honest. Waiting is a decision. It's a decision to stay where you are. This waiting, this constant state of getting ready to get ready, it's one of the most sophisticated forms of procrastination. It feels productive. You're researching, you're planning, you're strategizing, but you're not doing. You're hiding in the preparation because the starting line is terrifying. The perfect moment will never arrive. The time will never be right. Life will always be busy. You will always be a little bit unready. That's the nature of growth. The moment you have the instinct to act is the moment you have both the desire and the ability. The longer you wait, the more your brain will work to convince you not to do it. Mel says it perfectly. If you have an impulse to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. Stop waiting. Start doing. The world doesn't reward planners. It rewards starters. Chapter 6. You'll never feel like it. And this leads us to the single biggest lie we have ever been told about success and change. The lie that you need to feel like it. We worship at the altar of motivation. We watch motivational videos, read inspirational quotes, and wait for that lightning bolt of energy to strike us, so we can finally spring into action. Mel Robbins takes that entire idea and throws it in the trash. And I want you to hear this, really hear it, because it will change everything. Motivation is garbage. It's a feeling. Feelings are temporary. They are unreliable. You don't feel like getting out of your warm bed. You don't feel like making that sales call. You don't feel like choosing a salad over a cheeseburger. You'll almost never, ever feel like doing the things that are hard or uncertain or scary. If you only act when you feel like it, you will spend your entire life being a slave to your moods. Successful people don't have some secret supply of motivation. They have habits. They have discipline. They have learned to parent themselves. They do the things they need to do, whether they feel like it or not. The 5-second rule is the tool that severs the link between your feelings and your actions. It gives you a way to force yourself into motion, to act based on your commitments, not your comfort. And here is the beautiful paradox. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The moment you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and push yourself to the gym, you start to feel better. The moment you start writing the first sentence of that report, the ideas begin to flow. You don't find motivation, you create it. Chapter 7. How to start using the rule. So, how do we begin? Not with a grand life overhaul, that's too much. We begin with a single, non-negotiable act. Mel calls it an anchor habit. Your first mission, should you choose to accept it, is to use the 5-second rule to wake up on time. No snooze button, alarm rings. You immediately count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you physically stand up. Why this? Because it's your first promise of the day. How you start your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. When you hit the snooze button, you are starting your day with an act of procrastination. You are telling yourself, my commitments don't matter, my comfort is more important. But when you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and stand up, you start the day with a victory. You start with an act of self-respect. You create a tiny piece of evidence that says, I am in control. I keep my promises to myself. That one small win creates a ripple of confidence that you carry with you into the rest of your day. It's your training ground. Master the morning, and you'll be ready to master the rest. Chapter 8. The best way to use the rule. You have the tool. You have your first mission. Now, how do we make it truly powerful? How do we make it last? The best way to use the rule is to connect it to your purpose. The countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, is the launch sequence. But every rocket has a destination. What is yours? What is the why behind your push? Before you go to bed, don't just set your alarm. Set your intention. Remind yourself why you need to get up. Is it to have 30 minutes of quiet to yourself before the chaos begins? Is it to work on the novel you've been dreaming of writing? Is it to make a healthy breakfast for your family? Connect the action to the meaning? The countdown isn't just about launching you out of bed. It's about launching you toward a life you truly want. When you use the rule to speak up in a meeting, your why is to be seen and valued for your ideas. When you use it to go to the gym, your why is to have the health and energy to live a long, vibrant life. The rule becomes more than a trick to beat hesitation. It becomes a bridge. A bridge between the person you are right now and the person you are absolutely capable of becoming. It is the power of courage, not as a feeling, but as a decision, made new every single day. In 5 seconds flat. Part 3. Courage changes your behavior. We've talked about the rule as a launch sequence, a way to start. But its true power isn't just in the beginning, it's in the redirecting. Think of your life as a massive ship, your habits, your routines, your default reactions. That's the ship's momentum. It will continue on its current course unless something acts upon it. The 5-second rule is not a tidal wave that violently throws you in a new direction. It's the small, firm turn of the rudder. A tiny action that, over time, changes your entire destination. It's the tool you use to take the shapeless clay of your behavior and consciously give it form. And this transformation begins with the vessel you live in every single day, your body. Chapter 9. Improve your health. There are two of you. There's the you who sets goals. It's the you who buys the healthy groceries, who promises to drink more water, who swears this is the year you'll finally get fit. Then there's the other you, the one who lives in the moment. The one who is tired after a long day, who is drawn by the magnetic pull of the couch, who hears the siren song of the pantry at 10 p.m. We all know who usually wins that fight. The battle for your health is not won in the gym. It's one in 1,000 tiny 5-second decisions you make all day long. The decision to have water instead of soda. The decision to take the stairs instead of the elevator. The decision to go to bed instead of scrolling for another hour. Your feelings will betray you every time. You will feel like having the cookie. You will feel like skipping the workout. This is where the rule becomes your bodyguard. The moment the impulse hits the urge for junk food, the temptation to be lazy, that's your cue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That countdown interrupts the craving. It shatters the automatic loop, and on 1, you move. You don't have to do the whole workout, just put on one shoe. You don't have to swear off sugar forever, just drink a glass of water. It's a physical gear shift. You are using a conscious action to override a destructive impulse. Each time you do it, you weaken the bad habit and strengthen the good one. You are not just improving your health, you are proving to yourself, one small, courageous act at a time, that you are stronger than your temptations. Chapter 10 and 11. Increase productivity and end procrastination. Now, let's talk about the most common dream killer in the world, procrastination. We think of it as laziness, character flaw. But Mel Robbins reveals a profound truth. Procrastination is not a form of laziness. It's a form of stress relief. When you look at a big, important task, writing a book, preparing a presentation, cleaning the garage, your brain registers it as stress. It's overwhelming. To relieve that stress, your brain seeks a distraction, a little dopamine hit. So you check your email, you scroll through social media, you watch a quick video. Feels good for a second. But the task is still there, waiting, now with an added layer of guilt. This is the procrastination loop. It will steal your life if you let it. The 5-second rule is the ultimate pattern interrupt for this loop. The moment you feel yourself hesitating, the moment you feel that urge to avoid the important work. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the key. Your goal is not to finish the task. Your goal is simply to start. The rule's job isn't to help you write the whole book. Its job is to get you to write one sentence. Its job isn't to make you clean the whole garage. It's to make you throw away one piece of trash. Because starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum takes over. The fog of overwhelm begins to lift. You activate what's called the Zeigarnik effect, your brain's natural desire to finish things it has started. You don't need more discipline. You need a better starting ritual. 5, 4, 3, 2, and go is your ritual. Use it to stop thinking about the work and start doing the work. It's 5 seconds at a time. Chapter 12 and 13. How to stop worrying and end anxiety. We've applied the rule to our bodies and our work, but its most profound application may be here. In the quiet, chaotic space between our own ears, worry is a mental habit. It's your brain trying to solve problems that often don't exist. It gets stuck in a loop, spinning worst-case scenarios, playing out catastrophes on a stage inside your head. Anxiety is what happens when that worry takes over your body. It feels like you're being hijacked. And in a way, you are. You cannot control the first thought that pops into your head. A worry can appear out of nowhere, like a dark cloud on a clear day, but you can control what you do with it. You can control the second thought and the third. The moment you feel yourself starting to spin, the moment you catch your mind drifting down that familiar, dark path of what if, that is your signal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are using the rule to do two things. First, you are breaking the thought loop. You are stepping on the brakes of that mental freight train. Second, you are giving yourself a 5-second window to intentionally redirect your attention. Mel teaches us to create an anchor thought, pre-planned, specific, and positive image or idea that you can immediately pivot to. It's not just think happy thoughts. It's picture your kids laughing, or remember the feeling of the sun on your face at the beach. Or focus on what you're grateful for right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You visualize that anchor. You are performing cognitive behavioral therapy on yourself. You are noticing the destructive pattern, interrupting it, and replacing it with a better one. You are training your brain, like a muscle, to move away from worry and toward peace. It won't be perfect. The worry will come back. But now, you have a tool. You have a defense. You have a way to gently guide your mind back to safety over and over again until it becomes your new default. Do you see the pattern? Improving your health, ending procrastination, calming your anxiety. It's the same battle, just on a different field. It's the battle between your automatic destructive habits and your deliberate, courageous intentions. It's the same 5 seconds. It's the same rule. It's the rudder that steers you away from the donut. It's the rudder that steers you toward the blank page. And it's the rudder that steers you away from the storm of worry. Courage isn't just for grand gestures. It's for the quiet moments. It's a tool for changing your behavior from the outside in until the person you want to be is simply the person you are. Part 4. Courage changes your mind. We've seen how a simple countdown can change what you do, how it can get you out of bed, push you to the gym, and quiet the storm of worry. But that is just the beginning. Those actions, getting up, speaking out, moving forward, they are like ripples on a pond, and they are all moving toward the center, toward you. The most profound change the 5-second rule creates isn't in your behavior, it's in your beliefs. It's the process of taking the broken pieces of your self-perception, and with every act of courage, mending them back together with gold. You are not just changing what you do, you are fundamentally changing your mind. Chapter 14. Build real confidence. Let's talk about confidence. We treat it like magic, something you're either born with or you're not. We look at confident people and we think they possess some secret ingredient that we lack, so we wait. We wait to feel confident before we raise our hand, before we ask for the date, before we share our art. And in waiting, we prove to ourselves that we have nothing to be confident about. Mel Robbins asks us to shatter this myth. Confidence is not a personality trait. It is not a feeling. Confidence is a result. It is the tangible evidence you build, one small, courageous action at a time. It's the byproduct of keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and get out of bed, you lay one brick. Every time you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and speak up in a meeting, you lay another. Every time you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and choose action over hesitation, you are building a wall of self-trust. You don't need to feel confident to start. You need to start in order to feel confident. The rule gives you the power to act without confidence. And in acting, you earn it. Real confidence isn't loud or arrogant. It's quiet. It's the calm, internal knowledge that you can rely on yourself. It's the peace that comes from knowing that no matter how scared you feel, you have a tool to push yourself forward. Chapter 15. Pursue passion. And what do we do with this newfound confidence? We use it to answer one of life's most intimidating questions. What is my passion? We've been sold a story that passion is a lightning strike. A singular, earth-shattering discovery that gives your life meaning. And if you haven't found it, you feel lost, incomplete. But that's not how it works. Passion isn't something you find. It's something you follow. It's not a destination. It's a direction. It starts with a much quieter, more humble feeling, curiosity. What are the little things that pull at you? That article you wanted to read, the guitar in the corner of the room, the cooking class you saw an ad for. Those are your clues. Those are the breadcrumbs. Your brain, in its quest for safety, will give you 1,000 reasons not to explore them. You don't have time. You're not talented enough. It's a silly idea. The rule is your compass. It's the moment you feel that tiny spark of curiosity, that instinct to learn or try something new. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't analyze it. Don't judge it. Act on it. Click the link. Pick up the guitar. Look up the class. You don't discover your passion by thinking about it. Uncover it through action. You try things. Some will be dead ends. But others will ignite something in you. The more you explore, the more you learn what you love. Passion isn't the searchlight that finds you in the dark. It's the small candle you light yourself 5 seconds at a time. Chapter 16. Enrich your relationships. The courage you build inside yourself is meant to be shared. It's meant to connect you to others. Think about the moments that truly define a relationship. They are almost always moments of emotional courage. The courage to say I love you first. The courage to apologize when you're wrong. Courage to have the difficult, uncomfortable conversation. The courage to be vulnerable and share how you truly feel. In every one of these moments, there is a 5-second gap. A gap between the instinct of your heart and the hesitation of your mind. Your heart says, reach out. Tell them you miss them. Your brain says, it's awkward. What if they don't respond? Maybe later. And in that hesitation, distance grows. Resentment builds. Love goes unexpressed. Use the rule to close that gap. It's a moment you feel the instinct to be kind, to connect, to heal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send the text. Make the call. Give the compliment. Reach for their hand. The rule becomes a tool for love. A tool to ensure that the best parts of your kindness, your empathy, your love don't die as a thought inside your own head. It empowers you to be the partner, the friend, the parent that you truly want to be. Chapter 17. Stop negative thinking and self-doubt. We now arrive at the final frontier, the inner sanctum. The battle against the voice in your head that says, you're not enough. This voice of self-doubt is the most destructive habit of all. It's a weed that chokes every seed of confidence, passion, and connection before it can grow. And here is where everything we've learned comes together. You cannot stop the voice from speaking. It's an old, ingrained mental habit. But you can stop it from being the only voice you listen to. The moment you hear it, that familiar whisper of you can't, you'll fail, who do you think you are? Recognize it for what it is. It's not the truth. It's a habit. Then use your tool. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are interrupting the pattern. You're taking back control of your own mind. And on one, you don't argue with the voice. You don't debate it. You simply pivot your attention to a thought that serves you better. An anchor thought. And what's the most powerful anchor thought you have? The evidence. The voice says, you're a procrastinator. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you remember standing up on time this morning. The voice says, you're not confident. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you remember speaking up in that meeting? The voice says, nobody cares. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you remember the kind text you sent to a friend. You are no longer fighting doubt with empty affirmations. You're fighting it with cold, hard proof. You're using the history of your own courage to silence the lies of your fear. This is how courage changes your mind. It's an inside job. It starts with a single push, a single action, and it builds, day by day, until the very architecture of your thoughts begins to change. You are not just pushing past fear. You are remaking yourself. One countdown, one promise, one courageous moment at a time. Part 5. Courage changes everything. We have been on a journey that started with a simple countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2. We saw it as a trick, a tool, a way to get out of bed, to stop procrastinating, to quiet our anxiety. We used it to change our behavior and then to change our minds. We built confidence, brick by brick. We followed the breadcrumbs of our curiosity. We mended our relationships and stood up to the voice of self-doubt. And now we arrive at the summit. It's a place where all these paths converge. It's a place where we realize this was never about a 5-second trick. It was always about discovering something that was inside of you all along. Chapter 18. Find your inner strength. There is a force within you. It's an unstoppable, unbreakable core. You may have forgotten it. You may have buried it under years of hesitation, fear, and other people's opinions. But it is there. Mel Robbins calls it your inner strength. It's the part of you that knows what you need to do. It's the whisper that says, keep going. It's the instinct that pulls you toward growth, toward love, toward your own potential. For most of our lives, we live in a state of disconnect from this strength. We let our feelings, our tiredness, our fear, our boredom act as the gatekeeper. We let that noise drown out the signal. The 5-second rule is the act of honoring that signal. It is a declaration. With every countdown, you are saying, I hear you. I trust you. I will act on your behalf. You are turning up the volume on the wisest part of yourself. This isn't about being perfect. It's not about being a superhero. Inner strength is not the absence of weakness. It's what you do when you feel weak. It's the courage you find at rock bottom. It's the decision to stand up just one more time than you've been knocked down. Every time you have used the rule, you weren't just completing a task. You were casting a vote for your own strength, a vote for your own resilience. You are telling yourself and the universe that you believe in the force within you more than you believe in the fear that surrounds you. You are not finding strength. You are remembering it. Chapter 19, The Power of You. And so we come to the final, beautiful, terrifying truth. The secret to a better life is not out there. It's not in another book, another guru, another seminar. There is no magic pill. There is no one coming to save you. The person you have been waiting for your entire life is you. The power of you is the realization that you have the agency right now, in this moment, to change the course of your life. It's the acceptance that your life is not what happens to you, but what you choose to do with it, 5 seconds at a time. You have always had the power to push yourself. You have always had the power to be kind. You've always had the power to choose growth over comfort. The 5-second rule did not give you that power. It simply revealed it. It handed you a key to a door that was never locked. Look back at your own life. Think of the hardest things you have ever done, the moments you were most proud of. I guarantee in every single one of them, you used some version of this rule. You acted with courage. You pushed past your feelings. You did something hard because you knew you had to. The power was always there. So what now? Where do you go from here? You go forward, not with a magic trick, but with a deep and abiding trust in yourself. Go forward knowing that hesitation is the enemy and action is the antidote. Go forward understanding that courage is not a feeling, but a decision. You'll still feel scared. You will still have moments of doubt. The alarm will still feel too early. Difficult conversations will still feel hard. But you will be different. Because you will know that in any given moment, you are only 5 seconds away from a different choice, a different action, a different life. The 5-second rule is not the end of the work. It is the beginning of a new way of living. A life where you are no longer a passenger, tossed about by the waves of your feelings, but the captain, the one with their hands firmly on the rudder. The power has been and always will be. You now. What will you do with it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so, the journey through the pages comes to an end. The credits roll on the story of the rule, but your life, your story, doesn't have credits. It just has tomorrow morning. If you're anything like me, you've consumed countless ideas like this. You get inspired for a day, maybe a week, and then the gravity of real life pulls you back into the old orbit, the old habits, the old hesitations. But I hope what you take away from this journey is that this time can be different. Because the 5-second rule isn't an idea you have to remember. It's a tool you have to use. It's not a philosophy. It's a physical movement. The real change isn't in knowing the rule. It's in the moment tomorrow when the alarm rings and you feel that familiar dread, but you hear a faint echo in your mind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you just stand up. That's it. It's the whole practice. This simple act changes the way we live because it dismantles the lie that we are victims of our feelings. It proves that we have a choice. It hands the steering wheel of our lives back to us, taking it away from the autopilot of our fears. It changes the way we think because it gives us a weapon against our own inner critic. For maybe the first time, we have a way to interrupt the spiral of self-doubt and replace it not with wishful thinking, but with the cold, hard evidence of our own small daily acts of courage. And it changes the way we love, because it closes the most painful gap in the human experience, the one between the love we feel in our hearts and the love we actually express with our actions. It's the courage to send the text, to make the apology, to say the words before it's too late. Maybe this journey found you in a dark place, stuck, overwhelmed, feeling like the life you're living isn't the one you were meant for. Please know, you are seen. That feeling isn't a life sentence. It's a signal. A call to action from the truest part of yourself, begging you to make a move. Any move. This space we've shared, it's more than just a video. It's a community of people who are tired of waiting. People who are ready to start. And that's why these final moments are so important. If this journey resonated with you, if any part of it landed in your heart, let the like button be more than just a click. Let it be a quiet signal, a nod to say, I get it. I'm ready. The comments below aren't just comments. They're a collection of day one stories, a testament to courage. So share a piece of your story. You don't have to share your biggest dream. Just share your first step. What will be your first 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Reading them and knowing you're not alone on this path is a source of incredible strength for us all. And finally, if you believe in exploring ideas that change us from the inside out, if you want to be part of a community of fellow travelers on this journey, then consider subscribing. We are all just trying to find our way back to the strongest, truest versions of ourselves. Thank you for sharing your time and attention. It's the most valuable thing you have. The clock is ticking.